episode of Mental Man Cave. I created Mental Man Cave so that we can have a place where we learn and understand a man's journey from different perspectives of life. So, with that being said, today's guest is Trip Pete. What's up, Pete?
What up, though? Good?
Yeah, man. I appreciate you for coming on here. You know what I'm saying? Being my first person. This feels like I'm experimenting a little bit, but it's live, so
Hey, it is what it is, man. We're
you
going to
know.
get through it, though. We got good chemistry. We done this before.
Yeah, that's why I picked you. I said this would just be like regular talking. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Everybody in the chat, thank y'all for coming in. This is the first episode of Mental Man Cave. This is my live podcast I'm gonna do, where I'm gonna interview different type of men with different stories, different backgrounds, and all of that. And y'all, sit back, enjoy, and all of that. And what's up, Mr. No Diddy? What's up, Jabari? All
Oh,
right.
what's good?
So Pete, let's get into this. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
First off, how is your mental health, just in real life?
In real life, I can honestly say I wake up at peace with a lot of things. Um, and what I mean by at peace is just that, like, I'm not necessarily content on anything, but just like I'm at a point in my life where I can let the day go and not let it affect the next one. So
Okay,
you know how it's Monday, right?
that's hard to do.
That's hard to do.
Yeah,
That's hard to do, especially. And you know how Monday was. Like Monday, usually that's when like stuff just go wrong, things just don't go right, and as the week pick up, things kind of like smooth itself out.
yeah, for sure.
So, so when I say I'm at peace, I'm always at even keel. Like I'm never too up, I'm never too high, and even at my highest, I'm like let's just. And then even when it gets low, I'm just like let's we
Right,
got another day ahead of us, or
right. Well, that's good. Ain't many of us that wake up in peace and stuff. How
yeah,
do you think you got to that point?
self-evaluation and
Being honest
reflecting,
with yourself.
being honest, transparency. I'm a firm believer in you can't use anything against me that I don't already know about myself.
Okay, ain't no
You
throwing nothing in your face.
ain't nothing throwing. You can't throw
You
nothing in
don't
my
care.
face. You can't embarrass me about nothing that I don't
Okay.
already know, or my close friends and friends and family haven't already told me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm at that age, like I said, it's not, and my age is not the actual point that I want to stress. It's just that at whatever start of your journey of like finding peace is where you could start being like, self-reflecting. It's like understanding like who you are. So yeah, that's kind of like that's how I got there. It's just self-evaluation constantly, for good or bad, not being a negative Nancy or being like super positive and optimistic and naive, but having once again finding that blend of like
That
I was
balance.
probably you know, I was probably way too optimistic about that. That was too good to be true.
Yeah,
Or it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
And
So
just
when you
finding that.
down and stuff, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Let's say when you is feeling a little down, what kind of stuff you do? A lot of men don't know what to do, so niggas cheat. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm trying not to say the N word while we're here, but
Okay.
so people cheat. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Some men eat, some just keep it inside and explode later on. And
Hmm.
what do you do so that you don't end up going crazy? It might help somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Be able to cope with themselves.
Well, first I'll start with me. Let's say I just start with me. And when I'm dealing with misfortune, happiness, or just sometimes you just wake up on the wrong side. Maybe your team lost last night. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes some things carry over to the next day. Like but if I can't if I can't get out of that funk by my own will, um, my next approach is like looking for laughter. And usually I can find that in my friends. I know when I wake up and open up that group chat, it's something that whether it's about me or somebody else, or just waking up to a nucleus of like brotherhood
That's what
makes
I was gonna
things
ask you next. Like, do you feel safe talking to men? You feel what I'm saying? Like
right,
about deep shit, like stuff that's really messing with your heart. Do you
right,
feel safe or you feel comfortable
yeah,
doing that with other men?
right. and the beautiful thing about it is that men don't ever have to go into the depths because we already know we get it. You never have to, we what you would say with your partner, where you have to like go into details because they're not quite understanding like what you mean. We can say, man, it's just something just ain't right. And it's like, and depending on the topic, it's like we get it. We know exactly what you're talking about. I I give you an example, and this is probably it's actually people. If you know, you know. You know how somebody upset you, and the way you describe the person is based off the location where you met them, or like
Oh yeah,
Keisha
yeah. If
from
you
down the
live in
street.
William Bell, I automatically think a certain shit about you.
See what I'm saying? See, but like
Facts.
we know that we get
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
It's deep without going into like the whole of like she ain't this or he ain't that or like people from
Yeah.
around the way they act a certain way. It's like we get it. If you know, you know. And so it's like, and that's like my second step. And if I can't, let's say for the third step, let's say the homies don't do it. Let's say for some odd reason the homies just ain't feeling me. Maybe they in the funk or something. So my next step, if I had to be honest, is I try to sleep.
What you
'Cause,
think? Sleep? You go to sleep and when you wake up, it's gone.
well, they say time will heal everything. Some things hurt on day one versus day two, day three.
Andrew said we are unburdened by what has been.
Yeah.
I feel you,
So,
Andrew.
yeah. So it's one of those things where like, I give you an example of why I say sleep is my third option. We've all had some moments where like we look back and said when we were younger, like, man, I should have did this. He said, I should fire off on him. But
Yeah.
you eventually, like, as the day go on, as day two go by, you realize it's like it
You
wasn't
ain't
that.
even. Yeah.
So like, if I'm that upset, where like I can't do it within myself, the homies just can't understand. I'm still upset about it. I said, give it. Cause we on day three. Cause day one's me. Day two, the homies. Day three, I'm just like, okay, we 72 hours into this.
You
Yeah,
start. You
look,
start getting logical then.
you start getting logical, and
Yeah.
eventually time will kind of just, you know, and we talking about for the everyday problems, whether
Yeah.
you getting, like I said, your team lost, you got cheated on, somebody cussed
I
you
don't
out.
know if you getting cheated on or your team losing the same thing.
Just say,
Them different kind of six.
well, it's levels to crashing out, and it's levels to, well, I put it like this. You know how I say, like, man, that's Tina from such and such. Your homie's gonna be like, bro, why are you upset? Like, what Tina from? Why are you upset about what happened? Where the location, that everything was. So it's like that's what I'm saying. It's like you can't be up, you can't go around fire expecting not to sweat, not to feel fire, not to have smog. Like what you
Yeah,
thought
for
was gonna
sure.
happen. You don't go around water not to get wet, drown. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's where I'm at. Those three things:
Okay.
peace, friends, and sleep. If that don't work, then you have to
Then
catch
fuck it.
me. Yeah,
Forget it.
right.
I'm trying not to cuss. But look, so the title, y'all, everyone, is called "I'm a Single Father," right? So, ultimately, that's why we're here to talk to Pete. Um, I looked it up, and can y'all believe it is 18 million single parents in the United States, bro? That is a lot, bro. And you one of them. Nah, but for real, you know what I'm saying? 15 million are women, but 3 million are men. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Is that something that when you hear that, like, can you, like, do you expect that for it to be that many single parents? And, I'm not gonna lie, 3 million men kind of shocked me a little bit.
Yeah. It doesn't shock me because of the world that we live in. We have this you know, do what makes you happy type of like vibe, which it's part of the American dream, doing whatever you want, however you want, whenever you want. You know.
Yeah,
Now the problem comes in is that like the consequences for good or bad of your actions determine of your single parenthoodness. You know, you want to wed before you carry and stuff like that, or because you want to reduce the risk of like being single. So how you reduce that is certain things that that they always preach. Whether you have Christian values or whatever the case may be. It's just, and I'm I'm not surprised about necessarily. I'm not surprised with the men as much as you are. As far as just the single man. And how do you define single parent? You mean just nobody in the household or what?
So in my mind, a single parent is somebody who. So this okay. So you can have like let's say that the woman have the kid, right, and the
Mm-hmm.
kid live with the female, but the
Mm-hmm.
daddy do everything. Like the daddy do everything too. Like they split shit. To me,
Okay.
that's not single parent.
No, not
I'm
at
just
all.
a parent that's single.
Right.
So a single parent to me is somebody who bear on it like most of the responsibility,
At least 80% of it.
at least 80.
Okay.
75, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
think I'm
Yeah.
gonna call that a single parent.
For
You feel
sure.
what I'm saying?
And that's
So
physical, financial.
emotionally,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I had a friend. I'm gonna tell you this. Well, a quick story. I had a friend named James, and James had when I met him, he had 5 kids, and it was just him, and all the kids was 13 and under. The youngest one was like 1 or 2, and it was just him. But ultimately, he ended up in that situation because his wife had passed,
Okay.
right? So he was left with all his children.
He a widow.
And I saw him like do so, bro, really take care of these kids, bro, disciplining them,
Hmm.
everything, just and it was just him. And I always used to be like, dang, bro, you know what I'm saying? Bro, like that. I started taking little stuff from him that I was seeing him do, applied to my kids and stuff like that. So you are the second person that I've known that like have their kid. Now you have one, but you have and it's a girl.
Yeah.
He had girls also, but he also had boys. You feel
Right.
what I'm saying? So I want you to tell the audience and a single parent is someone who takes care of a child and the only one that does. Okay. Y'all, that's what you do. Give us our definition of a single parent while we talk. So yeah, what I want you to do is I want you to tell us your story. How did you end up from beginning to the end? I want you to tell us how did you end up um, a single parent. Well, we don't want to say a name if you don't want to, but
Yeah.
your daughter is how old?
She's 9 now.
So that's 9 years. I've been knowing you like
8. 8. Or what? Or maybe like
maybe like
7. 8 or
7.
7.
Yeah, she was at least 2.
She was at least 2. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've been knowing you 7 years, and it's been the situation that it is now. The
Right.
whole time I've known you.
Right.
So I would imagine it was like this before me. You feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
For
So
sure. Right.
yeah, tell us how did you end up a single dad and yeah, tell us the
Okay.
story from beginning, from when you seen it and was like, ooh yeah, that's my thing right there. All the way to
Okay.
you waking your daughter up, taking her to school, all of that.
Right.
Doctor's appointments, you know.
All right.
Tell
That's
us
fine.
tell us
Yeah.
how you got there.
Okay. Well, we're gonna use. Okay. We're gonna say Bud. I call that's why I call my daughter Bud.
Okay.
Bud. So it just makes it easier. So
Okay, cool.
it's just a general name, Bud. So when let me tell you about me, and I'm gonna keep it clean, but I'm gonna keep it concise, but I'm gonna give you the full story too. I'm talking in third person. I understand that, so don't like. I understand what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I've always been on player time. It's just always been me. It's just kind of just always been my thing. I've never been big on relationships, let alone marriage, especially at that time point in my life. It's just always just been peak player time. It ain't my turn. It ain't my girl, just my turn.
All right.
So when it came to that particular situation, it was no different than the other. Um, when it
Y'all
boils
was
down,
just smashing type.
yeah, for sure,
Okay.
yeah, for sure, that's what it was. it wasn't no necessarily intimacy, but I got love for anybody that I'm rocking with
What
at
up,
that
Plato?
particular time.
All right.
So it wasn't no disrespectful type of anything where like, get your shit and get. It's more of a like like I said, this is what we just
Y'all
doing.
was just doing what y'all was doing.
Doing what we doing. Like I'm 23, 24.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing like it ain't that deep. No pun intended, but like it ain't that far. It ain't. Um so I guess 3 weeks later, she was like, "Oh, you know, that late text. You better use the late text before you get that. I'm late text.
Oh, she
That
told you she
whatever."
was
Yeah,
pregnant.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So when she
And y'all was
said,
cool though, right?
yeah, for sure, yeah,
All right,
real
cool.
cool, yeah, real cool. Like I said, it wasn't like once again, it wasn't no animosity or anything. Yeah, and so and I was like, "You sure it's mine?" And she said, "Yeah, you the only person I've been with." And I said, "Okay." I
Took a
believe that.
word.
Yeah, I took a word for it. All right.
Which it's yours. You know what I mean? She looked
Yeah,
just like your
yeah,
mama. That's
yeah.
crazy.
Anybody who sees my daughter knows like,
Yeah.
um, you see my daughter, they know what it was. So like I took her word for it, right? And
Right.
and then, you know, where everybody talked about my body, my choice, we went down that road a little bit. And anybody who knows my body, my choice, we had that in the air.
Y'all
And
thought
my
about
daughter,
it.
yeah. She thought I wanted it. It wasn't no thought. And my daughter, like my daughter still tell me to this day, she was like, "Dad, you didn't want me." I said, "But I wasn't ready for a child." I
Who
said,
told her
"Kai."
that? You told her that?
And no, Kai asked me because Kai was like, "Daddy, was you ready to have a kid?" I was like, "Nope." I said it just happened, and then I said, "Kind of
Oh,
things up
okay.
to you."
I thought she walked up like, did you want to have a smorgasbord?
No,
And
no,
then you
no, no,
was
no,
like,
no, 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 no,
okay.
no, 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 no,
All right, I
no.
got you.
But she's older now, and she knows that me and her mom was never together. So Kanye just asked me like when she was like 7, she was like, "Dad, did you want to have a kid?" Like, no, this is when Connie, I said my daughter name, Connie, well, Bud was she at that stage where like from like 0 to 5. Quick side note, from 0 to 5, my daddy. When she turned 7, I want another sibling. So that's when she started acknowledging that she wanted another sibling is when she started getting into the daddy, did you want me?
Okay, I got you.
Okay. So back to the story. So she ended up deciding to keep it. I'm pissed. Hot, 4:30 hot. Because at one point she was ready to, my body, my choice. And then she just, flipped the switch, which I was like, you know what? Cool. And now I tell you, I told her, like,
So
don't
you got
expect,
mad?
yeah, because you told me you were going to do it.
So is that where things went wrong?
Yes. That's where
Oh,
everything
so
went
y'all
downhill.
started beefing when you got mad when she decided to.
Renege on her word.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's when,
Okay,
like,
so that I always wondered where it went wrong, and I just
yeah,
found out. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So that's when it went wrong. And it went wrong when I was like, well, don't expect me to do this whole family doctor visits type thing. So I kept it a being with her, but that correlated with her into thinking I'm gonna be a single mom because I told her I wasn't finna because it was embarrassing for her to show to all these doctor's appointment by herself.
Mm.
But and then so it insinuated in her brain that she was gonna be a single mom.
So hold on though. With you telling her don't expect me to do certain things, do
While
you
you
see
pregnant,
why she thought it?
yeah, for sure. I could
Okay.
see the logical response was like, doing for you, like the baby's still in the womb. I'm not gonna come call to you. You going through emotionals, ups and downs. I will
Why you
not
didn't
be
go
there.
to the doctor appointment with her?
Because at
You was
that
just
at that
like fuck her.
yeah, forget it. Yeah, for sure. Like I had a play in this part. Like I'm telling you, like the both sides of like I can understand her side.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like
I mean, you keeping it a buck like a
yeah,
motherfucker right now.
yeah.
Yeah, you are. You keeping it
So
real.
I understand why she felt that way of like how she was assumed that oh man. So from the get, she immediately turned into you finna get put on child support. It immediately flipped to that because you ain't finna bank on me saying I'm not finna help rub your feet and be at these doctor's appointments, but I am gonna take care of this baby when the baby come out. And we only 3 months in, 4 months into the you can't you really as a black woman, you can't bank on a man saying he ain't gonna be at these doctor visits, but he gonna be here for the rest of his child's life. That don't make sense. How you ain't gonna be here for the next 4 months? I gotta hold this baby, but you want me to trust that you gonna be here for the entire time when the baby do come. So we beef hard. I mean, hard. Once again, and I still don't visit this. I still didn't go to none of those appointments, none of that stuff, and all that, right? So when the baby finally came,
Why was
I
y'all beefing though? Like, if you
be
already not going to the appointments, and then like y'all beefing like because of that?
yeah, in a
Okay,
nutshell, like, cause like I know I'm gonna be a good father, but once again, I know me. Once again, it's not like we was in a relationship. You got that's why I give you the context. Peaks on player time. You wasn't. There was no talk. It was just I
y'all.
do me, you do you. Sometimes we do each other. It's kind of one of those things. So it's like to go from this is a person I barely even know to like now you banking on this person to be responsible for a child that hasn't came yet on both ends of the spectrum. I can understand you would rather think the worst case scenario, which is obviously single parent versus, and I get it. That's why I like in hindsight, and I always knew why she felt that way. I just didn't care because I still knew where I was going. I knew how I was going to be. So it is what it was at that point. So the baby comes. I don't think I see Bug until like 2 weeks, maybe. I
Okay,
seen her
so
when
you wasn't at the hospital when she was
yeah, I
born.
did. Prior to the baby getting delivered on that day, I didn't see her after that for like 2 weeks or something like
Okay,
that. So um, then so I finally get to see her, and I took her to my house, and things are like rocky at the least. And then this was the turning point. We're gonna fast forward about 2 months. I got this new little honey dip, whatever, this little chick, right? That I'm messing with.
right.
So of course she finds out that I got this girl, and you know what that turns into. You got that chick around my baby, yada 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 yada.
Okay,
The setup is real easy.
I
You see
thought, but
where,
y'all wasn't together or nothing like that though. So why was?
but her baby, new chick, it just don't go together. It never fly. It'll never be cool with
That's
somebody that you've
crazy.
been beefing with. Once again, so it is it is what it is. So, but at that moment, here was another turning point. My dumb butt, we did it one more time.
Why y'all was beefing
Nut, anyway.
after the baby?
After the baby, but we end up doing something one more time, and then I end up getting with the chick like a few weeks later. Once again, Pete is still on player time.
So that's why she was mad. You had just did it with her and then gonna go get a girlfriend.
Yeah, a main chick.
Okay, yeah.
So now, see what I'm saying? So you can see once again, you can see where like I know why you mad, you know, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah. I get her anger.
yeah, but it's not like I told her this is gonna be something. It was just like whatever. Now that was the last time too that we've ever done something.
I,
Last time.
I, I would hope so.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Once again, players fuck up. I made that one mistake, and never again. I'm a firm believer in like not making the same mistake twice.
Okay, okay, right now y'all she has the baby in her custody.
No, we're splitting it. I'm getting her every weekend.
Okay.
Unofficially. I'm getting her every weekend. Right?
That happened up
So
until what age?
I was getting her 4 to 3 days a week. And that hit because look, my joint custody hit on the third month. Connie didn't make it 3 months before I took her to court. a lot of stuff has happened. So a lot of things happen, and then after that, things kind of like plateaued until like how the story kind of plays out. So and everything I'm telling you is like 3 months. Within 3 months of like I heard like Kanye's coming out, and then the whole taking her to court. So after that whole situation about the chick, there's an incident where I have to call the police on her. She comes knocking at my door. Give me my baby. Give me my baby. I'm just like, and this
You,
is the first time where I was this close to put my hands on. I never put my hands on a woman, but I was this close,
yeah.
this close.
I'm
And
glad you ain't do it.
yeah, I called the police on her. Police showed up, and did I end up keeping Connie that night? I think I did. The police understood the situation. You know, I let her know that. I let the police know like I'm the dad, clearly, and we had a little altercation, and all that. She like caused a whole ruckus and everything. And it was that moment where I knew. I said, okay, I'm taking you to court. Like, that's it. I said, I've been doing my duties, but yet and still, you have this entitlement that I feel that you shouldn't have. But but you should have, because the government emphasizes you to have this type of entitlement. This didn't happen last night. This has been like systematically, like you are incentivized to act this way because you're going to get the child by default. So I had to get ahead of it. And she was doing the paperwork to try to put me on child support. I ended up taking her to court before that could go through. She conceded in court. So and then we got 50-50 joint custody. Boom.
Okay.
So now either I get on Thursday or Friday, drop her off on Sunday.
Okay.
And then that's how that kind of worked out all the way to Connie turned 4. When Connie turned 4, 4-year jump, the
So
mother of
everything was pretty much like y'all had a rough start and shit and stuff, and then
the paperwork,
um it kind of after the court got involved and kind of put y'all on the schedule,
yeah,
everything started really being cool.
right. Because now in my book, my daughter's not a weapon.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So now,
A lot of men don't know that you can go to like you don't have to be the victim.
yeah, you don't have to concede to
I
any of
be
that
trying
BS.
to I be trying to tell guys like just because you that's how I know if like a dude really wanna like if he mad about the baby, but
Yeah,
he won't take the mama to court. So I be feeling like you just like to talk about it a little bit. You feel what I'm saying? You don't really want nothing you don't want that responsibility for real.
right. It sounds cool to say because you want to look a good dad, but you ain't putting in that work
But you
to
can take it.
actually
Me and you both did the court thing and it
right.
worked out.
And it's one of those things where like when when that whole paperwork that had happened, it kind of just kept things. Now we still had our rough rides, but it's not nothing worth mentioning. Just
Yeah, yeah. Regular
it was
stuff.
regular stuff. But here's another turning point. So when Kanye turns 4, the mother of my child wants to do better in life. I don't care what we got going on. I never stop you from progressing in life because what's good for you is what's good for her. So why would
Yeah,
I stop
facts.
that from ever happening? Right.
Yeah, I believe that
So
too.
so
I ain't
I would
finna get in my kids' mama's way.
right. Now we shared this responsibility, but um we are she's at a point where she feel like she's done everything she could, and it's time to move forward. So she wants to move to a different state, Texas. And I was like, and I told her exactly why to set her head. Go ahead, go right ahead. And I don't mean in an ill malice way. And this is what I mean by that. And you'll know this because now you're in the picture by now. It's like, go do your thing. I won't try to put you in court to say, hey, I got, you know, most of the
I got the
time now.
baby. She's out of state.
See, so and this is when the single parenthood starts to kick in because now that you're gone to get your life together, um, it's just me. Now I do have help. Definitely have help on both ends of the spectrum, on her mom's side and on my side. So that's not necessarily the problem, but the part that you cannot escape is the quality physical time that you're going to miss at the end of the day.
So let me ask you this: with
Hmm.
her going right, she went to
Hmm.
Texas, and you gave her your blessing.
Hmm.
Did you feel like it was fair to start feeling like you're not here physically?
Was it fair for me to do that?
Yeah, feel like that she's not here
Mm,
physically, even
no.
though you gave her your blessing to go.
Well, that's something that I feel like she had already weighed
What up,
already.
Sherry? Uh huh.
Uh, I didn't feel to regurgitate that obvious statement to her, but I did acknowledge it just a little bit. But we live in a world where technology is prevalent, where FaceTimes and stuff like that, and it's not
Oh,
like she
okay,
didn't
so it
know.
wasn't even that going on. I thought you
Well,
meant like physical in the flesh. It wasn't really no FaceTiming going on.
yeah, FaceTime's going on too as well,
Okay.
So yeah, yeah. But I'm saying, but that's why I didn't necessarily harp on the physical because we live in a world now where like you could physically see somebody even when you're far away. And it's not like she didn't know her mom. Like I said, she didn't like she leave. It's not like she left when she was 2. She left when she was 4, knocking on 5.
Right.
So that's why I didn't necessarily make it a big deal. But let me just move the story forward. So what had happened then? This is where it starts getting rocky. This is where put up points where I'm like I said, I'll call a spade, whether I'm doing something wrong or somebody else's life. But this is what it is, and these are just the pure facts. So what we had in agreement it was that you claim her 1 year, I claim her 1 year. So even when she had
Income tax
moved,
wise.
income tax wise,
All
this is the
right.
benefits of having a child. What had happened was that I still kept the agreement on paper, despite you are not physically able to what's what I'm looking for. You're not physically able to
Be
do
there.
do what's be there what's on the paper. You can't do 50-50. You can't do every weekend. You can't do split anything. You physically can't. So the by default, the paperwork that we have is like vetoed because it don't mean nothing no more. Right now with
Y'all
this,
didn't think about that before she left?
no, y'all, she didn't think about that. I didn't move.
Say y'all.
No, this is a you thing. Nobody told you to get up and move, and nobody stopped you from moving, and nobody gave you a hard time about it. So anything that you go through is totally upon you.
What was
Okay,
her plan? Was it like to get out there and then bring Cunny
it's
along?
it's
Or was
Texas.
it like,
That was her goal. That was her goal. Was I going to allow it? No, but I wanted her to at least go do something for yourself. So I wasn't gonna necessarily like I said I wasn't gonna stop her. Now her motive was to get on her feet and everything. Once again, and that's not wasn't my what my goal was not to like stop that. But what happened was that you wanted the benefits as if you were here when you wasn't, and I wasn't going for that. Now, I let it ride till she was like 7. So and what
so
what
for
had
3 years
uh-huh.
of her being in Texas,
So up to, yeah, for 3 years for being in Texas, I let her claim
Cunny on taxes,
yes,
even though she wasn't physically there?
yes.
Okay,
And then
cool.
and rather financially, like even though she wasn't doing none of that, and I never gave her a hard time about that.
So so you understand when women be saying that like men don't help financially and stuff, how easy it can be for men not to help financially
Yeah,
because you had the kid full time, but you wasn't getting any.
right.
You wasn't getting no cash apps or nothing saying
Nothing.
groceries. Or,
I wasn't requesting it. Wasn't doing anything. I was
you
just
just taking care of it,
taking care of it, and I never gave her a hard time about it, and I still
right?
don't to this day, because once again, maybe that's just the man in me of like I don't need nobody, you know, to do that, and I've always had it. She's never wanted for nothing, but that doesn't excuse
Yeah,
that you shouldn't.
yeah.
And for me, for her. And I'm not saying that she didn't do absolutely nothing, but it had never compared in the amount to me seeing her day for day. Even if you try, there's no amount of time that you can compare to me to yours when you in a different state. That's just the objective truth of it. There's no
Yeah.
amount of money and time that you can equal up to me. Just nothing. You can't. But so what we wasn't gonna do is pretend on paper that it did look like that. Now
Right.
I
So when
gave
she
you
got 7, you wanted to redo the paperwork.
yes, I gave you a grace period. She like I think and I think that I was fair in the grace period of like giving you 2 3 years of claiming her. What had happened, and this is where it turns south. Now, so other things happen on her end that has nothing to do with me. But at the end of the day, I understand, but it has nothing to do with me, which
Right.
is in the year of in the year of you being by yourself, single again, back on the prowl, no kids, no nothing in Texas. A year into you being back childless, guess who makes another one
She get pregnant again.
again? So when you were
So
when
in
you were
Texas, she's pregnant, and you have y'all daughter back home.
yeah
Okay.
you get pregnant again, which is once again has nothing to do it has something to do with the story, but it's not has nothing to do with me. But I can understand how that could throw a monkey wrench in your plan of taking care of yourself,
Yeah.
which ultimately still affects Connie and me because now you can't solely focus on Connie because now um you can't focus on Connie because you got another newborn, which is understandable. But once again, what that got to do with me?
Yeah.
So I can understand what's going to happen when I go on with the story. So now the so now what happens that she claims her twice after I told her not to, because now this is becoming unfair. I allowed the grace period of you can claim her, you're getting on your feet, them taxes going, that's gonna help you get you. That's gonna get you there.
So when she got pregnant, you was like, oh no, you're not claiming credit no more. That's dead.
Say it
Because you're
again.
not here. Ain't no more favors.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You ain't no favor. Yeah, ain't no favors. And I said, and the fact that I knew that you just had a baby, I could empathize with you. Probably need these taxes more than I do.
All right.
I get it. Once again, I get it. But now when we so now because now you're getting double because now you got 2 kids to claim. So you really out here winning.
Yeah.
Once again, I only want to see you win, but not but only so much where it's not at the expense of
You.
what I got going on. And once again, fair is fair. So like I said, the big falling out happens when like she turns like 7 now, and now you claim you double dipping disrespect and once again this is where I'm like, okay, let's acknowledge the fact that you still now we're going on 3 years where you have not been in the state anymore. Now you in Texas. Now we got a problem because now you looking at when I took the time out to show understanding, show some sympathy, and be a civilized individual knowing your situation even though it didn't have nothing to do with me. You spit in my face by claiming somebody that hasn't been in the state of Texas yet.
So y'all was
So
beefing over the income tax for a little while. Seemed like it.
it wasn't about the taxes, the principle of just like being fair. It could have been anything. It just so happened to be about that. But it's all about why can't you just be fair and understanding and civil? Because I didn't have to be civil. I could have easily took you to court a year after you had been in Texas. So once it had become a year of you being in Texas, I could have took you to court immediately and got full custody.
So okay, when she gets 7, How did you end up getting her back in court again?
Well, I didn't get her back in the court till last year.
Okay.
So so from the age no, so from 3 months till um of
Cause she 9 now, so that's when she was
July.
8 when you got in court.
Yeah, so from July of this year to when she was 3 months old, on paper, we had the same 50-50 joint custody.
Okay.
So I we've been rocking the same paperwork since she was 3 months years old.
What's your paperwork now?
Oh,
If
that
you don't
joker, that's
mind,
that's
me
full.
asking.
That's full custody.
So
Full.
how does it work for her then?
Once again, that means like, she have to pay child support, which she doesn't, which I don't enforce. I don't enforce anything.
She's
I
supposed to
don't
pay you child support?
Yeah, it's all in my paperwork. Yeah, for sure. But I, I don't I don't
That's
enforce.
crazy. I never knew a nigga to get child support before.
Yeah, I don't enforce it. Like we're still doing the same thing we've been doing when we had joint custody. Nothing
You
has
just got the
changed.
paperwork to kind of protect yourself now.
Yeah, so when things go south, I can go enforce
Yeah.
everything that I want to enforce.
Yeah.
Do I? No. Just don't need to.
You think when she moved to Texas, she had a plan and it just didn't work out, so she kind of ended up there? That she never really intended on like leaving, honey. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, no. She didn't. I don't think no normal mother would want to leave their child. She didn't want to. I never say like she was just like, huh, there you go. That
Yeah,
wasn't no. I
she
would
was
never.
fighting for her.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Like, yeah, no. She cares deeply, like any mother, deeply about her daughter. I'm not
So
saying
what?
that.
So if she fought, I mean, when she fought, and we know, like, majority of the laws, like, typically would be in the mother's favor because
Right.
normally the mother's the better option. How did you end up winning the full custody battle when you feel what I'm saying?
I had to
When
pay a
she was
lawyer,
fighting for the child.
not a public defender. I had to pay a lawyer. It's the best money I ever spent.
Well, damn.
That's I mean that's what it was. I mean, you can't, you need somebody to represent you. And you gotta be able to. It just kind of worked in my favor. She she knew ultimately that I was a good father. Because why are we here if I'm not?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Like, why are
Yeah.
we here if
Yeah.
I'm not? Why am I
Okay.
going through this much trouble? So she conceded. She could have fought more, but she conceded. Was the family mad at me? Of course. Was the family mad at her? Of course. But once again, we had been beefing since Connie was 3 months in the womb. Now she's 3 months out the womb, and it's just I get it. But I have already proved myself since she's been out the womb to this 3 months that like I'm gonna be here. That's why I'm taking you to court because I want to be here. This is not for play. I'm not playing with you, and I'm gonna show you that I'm not playing with you.
So
And
what's you and her relationship like now?
it's good. It's never been terrible. We've had these little moments to where you know we
Nobody's
have
backing
different.
down.
Yeah, nobody's backing down, and I'm all about winning the war. You can win the battles. The things that like I'm all about the bigger picture, and I don't let the little small stuff uh knock me off my pivot from seeing the bigger picture. And the bigger picture for me has always been like make sure my peace is intact, and make sure that Connie has the best living situation. And
Ultimately, because that's what matters. You know what I'm saying?
right, right,
And I be saying, kind of be happy. You feel what I'm saying? And
yeah,
so I know you'll get that. I've been knowing you for a minute.
yeah. So
So
and she don't want for nothing.
I went to the internet and I googled and I wanted to tell you some concerns people had about
Hmm.
um a single dad raising a girl, and
Okay,
then I'm gonna tell you some of the stuff that people said was good. That statistics say was good. So
okay,
I'll tell you those first. One of the positive things is saying that women think single dads are more attractive, like than the regular man.
Because it shows, you know, provide protection. I get that by default.
Yeah,
Like
and
I
women ultimately want a solid household. You feel me? And when you
right,
got your daughter by yourself, you look like a candidate,
right,
a candidate for a solid dude. You know what I mean? A
right,
family man.
right.
Okay.
I get that. That's on my resume by default. They say, "Oh, he has his daughter full time." Oh, I get the benefit of the doubt that he can at least raise a child.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure.
Another one was single dads give more freedom. You think you gonna be that kind of dad with
Yeah,
Connie?
yeah. I'm all about what I call battle tested. So, and I don't guard my daughter. And when I say guard, I mean like I don't shelter her. Like there's some things that I know she's going to run into, and I rather train her for the moment than act like it doesn't exist.
Yeah, yeah. I'm big on that too. I like my
Yeah,
kids to. I tell my kids the truth.
yeah,
They're aware. You know what
right,
I'm saying? I don't like to act like for the same reason. I don't want them to just go into something blind, be no duck, not know what's going on.
right,
You
right.
know.
And
So
so
I get that 100%.
yeah, so I let Connie get on TikTok at a young let her get a tablet, her iPad at a young age. Of course, not just willy nilly, like parental,
Yeah,
provisions and
yeah,
all
yeah.
that.
We all got them parental
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
Trey 12 and still gotta ask. You know what I mean? Got to
yeah,
get a code to download stuff. So
yeah, yeah. Connie, and like, and for Connie, Connie don't know the difference because I'm the like so, and she's like she's 9 now, so, but it's one of those things where like I know she's gonna pick up the internet's the internet, and something she's gonna pick up through her peers, through
school.
the school, and all that. And I don't pretend like it don't exist. Sometimes like I just tell her, "I'll tell you when you get older." It's been time. It's things that Kai asked me at 5. I told her, "I'll tell you when you're 7." I told her when she was 7 because she's understood it.
Yeah, I
Because
remember
well,
doing that too. I remember telling them, "I tell you
yeah,
when you 10." To where
yeah, when you're
now I
7.
got all these teenagers, and man, let me tell you, man, let me tell you, bro, like stuff like knowing that they know what sex is.
Hmm. Man,
It's just it's just crazy, man. Because these was my little,
yeah,
you know, so knowing that they know what sex is and stuff like that, that that I've like I'm having regular conversations with my 15-year-old, and that's she'll tell me a story and be like, yeah, and she said it so casually one time. She was like, I think they was fighting because somebody had sex with somebody. And I'm like, my baby, you know what I mean? I'm
yeah,
devastated. You know what I
uh,
mean? I'm devastated, bro. I was devastated, but also was a reality check that she's getting older. You know what I
yeah,
mean? She's getting older, and
yeah,
so our relationship is mad good and mad different.
yeah.
So uh, I also found some stuff. I'm gonna read some of these to you. Maybe you can debunk some of this, tell how
Okay.
you'll handle it. But these are the things that people were saying was a concern with a man raising a daughter. So
Hmm.
first off, before I even go into it, are you looking like me personally? I got a lot of kids.
Yeah.
So um, like when you know me too, I'm gonna run. You know what I'm saying? I would have them, but I'm
Hmm.
always find me the one that's good for my situation.
Hmm.
So but they have to be a certain kind of woman. You know what I mean? I care about that I got a daughter. So you
Right,
gotta
right, right.
be a mama. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have mother skills already for me to deal with you on a serious level.
Right.
So is that something that you looking for, like hoping for in the future to find a partner and kind of have like a two-parent household, or is that something that you just like
Yeah.
whatever, whatever?
I want it. Connie want it now. Like I told you, like at what when she hit 5, it was like when she hit 7, something clicked. You know how the things why I said I'll tell you when you're 7, or like you ask stuff about 5, you just saying it, but you don't know. I said I'll tell you when you're 7.
So you're not
Right.
close to the idea of like a serious relationship, so she can, you know, see like that dynamic. Because I didn't grow up in that dynamic. You feel
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Not many of us out here grew up in that
Yeah.
dynamic. You feel
Right.
what I'm saying? So I think it's dope now that my kids at all the households, it's
Mm-hmm.
two parents in it.
Right.
It's a father figure and everybody's good examples, and you know what I
Right.
mean. I think it's super dope and they can learn so much, man. Danielle's learned so much from Chanel, especially just being a girl. You
Right.
know what I mean, and I love that, you know.
Right.
So yeah, you said that's something you looking for. You're not close to.
No, 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 definitely. Like I said, like how I started off, I've always been on player time, but that doesn't mean that I'm at the point in my life where I'm not. I've always been open to it. Don't get me like I've always been open to the idea. It's just I'm just very selective because naturally, and then I have a daughter because I want a good representation, for my daughter. So it's one of those things where now I would, I'll probably consider it now. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Trap, I got a window. And it's a small one. It's that window getting smaller and smaller
What's your
because
window?
she 9. If Connie make it to middle school, if I can't find somebody by Connie hit freshman before high school, I ain't having no more kids. I ain't starting over, Trap. That's the
No,
reason.
no, no. I don't
See,
blame you.
see what I'm saying?
Don't do it. Don't do it, bro.
I'm not.
Don't
Connie
do it.
9.
How I was living before I had the toddler. He's finna turn 2.
Yeah.
The switch is devastating. You're
I,
gonna go through it mentally. The switch is devastating. What I had to stop doing and then start doing,
yeah.
bro. The switch was devastating, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So
See, and
I
see,
feel you.
and I'm
I
like,
feel you. If
cause
you
once
can't give us sibling by a certain time, man, hang that shit up, man.
yeah,
Don't
see,
be me.
I see, and that's
I'm
why, like,
cool, you know what I mean? True cool and all that, but you feel
yeah,
what I'm saying? Y'all
right.
get what
That's
I'm
what I'm
saying?
saying. That's why I kind of got to, now, and I say that for my partner and kind of. That doesn't mean that I can't. That doesn't mean that she can't have a a role model in the house. But we're talking about creating babies at the same time that go along with that. That's why I have to constantly explain to Connie. It's like I think when you get older because like you just see, oh, motherly figure in the house.
Yeah.
That ain't your grandma and aunties and stuff like that. You understand something comes with that, like babies and stuff like that, and and it's
Yeah, you
like
gotta be able to bond, work together, you know what I'm saying?
it's, and that's what something that I have to explain. Kind of like I tell you when you're 13, like when you can like, so you want to say why?
She'll understand by then.
See what I'm
They
saying?
know early.
Exactly. But right now she's
Yeah.
9, so it's like I can explain it, but it's gonna come with a lot of whys, and I'm like this something you'll fill in the details if you're older of why I just can't just pick anybody.
Just pick a woman and just bring her in the
Right.
house.
Because eventually she'll start liking, boys and stuff like that. And she'll understand that like everybody ain't just you just can't just be talking because Billy who picks his nose think you're cool and everything. So like you'll get it. I won't have to explain why I can't pick people that you like that, you know. Anyway, but I guess like I said, I won't throw out the idea, but Connie got to she about 13, 14. And I think that's
Okay.
what like 7th, 8th grade.
Okay.
So where it's
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah. 14 is ninth grade. At
yeah,
least
yeah,
I was 14 in the ninth
yeah,
grade.
I was, yeah. So,
So let me tell you some of the things that like I said that people was finding that could be a problem with a single dad raising a mom. I mean a little girl.
all right.
Um Emotional support needs. So uh me looking at the examples, and I went through like Reddit and just all these random sites. Me looking at the examples of emotional support needs, I guess it's when like she's heartbroken or
Mm-hmm.
something like that, and it's more of like we've never been hurt by a man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, or a little boy, or
Mm-hmm.
our advice would be different from what a woman would give her. So how do you, I know that you said you open to a relationship, so
Yeah.
minus that option, How do
Hmm.
you think you will cope with that if you don't find a spouse? If it's just you and her, how do you think you would um go about that?
Like helping her through her like heartache.
Yeah, just any emotional support she need
Yeah,
that typically a female would do.
I think I do real good because I may not show sympathy, but I always show understanding. I'll always be empathetic, and I don't necessarily have to. I don't necessarily have to go what you have to go through to be empathetic. Like I haven't had a dog died since I was a kid, so I don't have any mental, but like I still understand how it feels to lose something that you love.
Yeah.
You know, the same man who loves his red Corvette and wrecked it, it's the same way a man may love his dog and it died. Like hurt is hurt. Like I said, you love that Corvette like an old dude love his dog. One's an animal, one's an object, but doesn't mean I can't be empathetic and understand how you could lose something that you have for a long time and it's just completely gone now. So
So you don't feel like just in
mm,
general it wouldn't really make a difference.
nah,
That a
If,
female support and a male support pretty much.
if anything, I will argue that I'll be better fit for it. And this is my own personal observation. Women are good through the stages of like birth and like 9, where it's just like, my baby, mwah, it's okay. You know, that hug, kisses on the knee and stuff like that. But once you get older, logic gonna have to start playing a place and something. It's like I can't coddle you because you made the same mistake 3 times in a row. Cause you're 13, you're gonna make them, and I can't be like, it's not okay, my hey,
What
it's not
if,
okay.
but what if she make the same mistake, right? And then you hit her with the logic, and it's cool. But then she make the mistake again. But this time, like she just wants you to hug her and just listen to this shit.
No, the hugs can come, but it's a thin line between of like coddling somebody, like crippling them, because you're coddling too much,
Yeah, yeah,
versus
spoiling
just
them or ruining
right.
them.
But I see it as I will always support you and love you and be your foundation. You'll never fall. I'll always be there for you, but I won't be your pillow and blanket where you can do anything and just like I know daddy got me. I'm just gonna just everything's gonna be a soft landing. It's just not
They
on
gonna
soft
be
landing.
saying when we post the clips, they're gonna be saying, that's why that's why she need your mama. Cause you being too real.
No, so, you know what I'm saying? It's like, no, I'm not. I told Kanye today, like,
Men are logical people though. Like we're logical, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? For the most part.
yeah. I
Let me
think I'm
give
gonna do
you
a better
another.
job.
Dating. How would you go about like bringing Connie around girls? Is it a time or like do you have to date her for a while or
See,
are you letting her see any?
Kanye has not seen one woman since she's been on this earth. Kanye has
Man,
not,
no, she's never seen a girl you dealt with ever.
never, never. And
How
every
did you
woman that
go
she,
by that? She 9 years old. Like never like just came out the room and saw somebody in the walking in the room and nothing.
nope, nothing, never.
You have done good at
That's
that.
man. That's why Kanye acting like where. That's why Kanye being like, I know her. I know she's a woman, but like, I know that's daddy's friend, and I don't do that whole. That's daddy friend. Like
Why haven't you let her see anybody?
because you know how you do something once, you become accustomed to it, you just keep doing it. I never want to even go down that road of like, oh, just one time. Then one time turns into two, two turns into three, and four.
That's true.
See what I'm
That's true.
saying? You can't
You
miss
do
something.
get more comfortable.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and you can't miss something you never had. I've never done that. Once again, I'm still on player time, so even if I didn't have a kid, I'll still operate a certain way. But now that I got a kid, I'm definitely going to operate in a certain way. Now it's going to be known that I have a kid. That's going to be obvious. But the way I'm set up and the way I just go about certain things, it never get that far anyway to begin with.
How
But
long you
if it,
think a dude should wait before he bring a woman around his kid? Is it a comfort level, or should he be like he need to make sure she the one, or
I
is it
gotta
like
be, no, I gotta be in a relationship with you for at least 2 3 months, like
okay?
a
Man,
relationship.
I was hoping you ain't say nothing crazy like a year. I was gonna say, dang, Pete,
Hell no, 2 3 months is like 90
2 or
days
three
is
months
more.
is cool.
90 days, like, and like I said, that's us talking dating. Committed relationship. That doesn't mean you have that doesn't mean you haven't seen my daughter by then. I'm not saying you haven't seen my daughter, but we're talking about Connie waking up and she know you in the room sleep. That
Yeah.
type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like it's levels to like seeing somebody. Like, I'm pretty sure it'll be times where like, hey, I'm gonna go grab a bite. You wanna come join us?
Yeah, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That ain't nothing
But seeing them in your room and stuff is different.
different.
I'm the only women my kids have seen is the ones I've dated too. That's outside of like music
Mm-hmm.
videos, shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like on that level, I have too. Because one time I almost, and it was embarrassing, and I don't know why I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? That they was finna see me with a random
Yeah.
girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, I was finna be embarrassed in front of them. So I made it like that too.
Yeah. And it's nothing against, I said, but it doesn't. I never say be like, oh, you ain't gonna see my daughter until we in a committed relationship. It's like it's one thing, I'll be out. Like I said, me and Connie went to Margaritaville. Told her Sunday, and she brought her cousins and everything, and whatever. So,
Yeah, that's
we
a
always
little
doing
play date.
things. So if I'm talking to somebody and we're in that stage of being in a relationship, like, yo, come rock with us this Sunday. Come, like, come kick it with us.
Okay.
But like I said, but like in a out in public setting ain't the same as we all waking up together, cooking breakfast and stuff. It's a
Yeah, that's more of a family dynamic. Then you selling a dream at that. You showing her a dream
you see what I'm saying?
at
That's
that
different.
point. So
And
you
I'm
need to
saying
make sure it's the right woman. Then.
right. So that's my limitations when it comes to that. So yeah,
Okay.
that's where I'm at.
So this is something that men say that they have to do a lot. Being single dads, they
Okay.
have to defend the mom a lot. So I guess
Oh
the kid
yeah,
believing that the mom don't want them, or they don't understand whatever the situation is, so they believe what they believe. So you may have to tell them your mama got to work a lot, or whatever the mom's situation is, you might have to make an excuse for it. You might have to lie for it sometimes.
man, Trapp.
But they say that's one of the things that men have an issue with. They say they defend the mom a lot. That's one of the things about being a single dad.
Trap, how long? Trap, my situation. Like it personally. Just off the this, just not even thinking too hard. How many times where something has happened and I have to defend this situation to make sure it don't look as
It's
bad
straight.
on one end. Yeah, and
Yeah.
like and defending the honor of the ideology she has in her head about her mom. I'm trying to preserve that as much as I can.
You trying to get it like just keep the positive.
And the birthdays, the
Well,
Christmas,
I feel because she is at
picking
the
up
age where you
over the
do that,
summer.
and then at some point you do hit a switch where you like they gonna learn because they
Oh,
do. You know my situation,
right.
so I can tell you they see on their own. You don't
Oh,
even have to do
it officially happened. Huh? I'm gonna get a charger for my dog, but you can still hear me though correctly, right?
it. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Um, it officially happened to me. Well, not to be to Connie this this year. It officially happened when a the last Christmas where something happened during Christmas. And the short version that she was told that Christmas is not coming, even though she was told that she needs to be there for Christmas. And still to this day,
She's hanging
she
on
had
to that.
she let her mama, she let her have it. She says, and I keep verbatim. Do you remember? And this just happened like not too long ago. Do you remember when you told me Christmas wasn't coming and I was upset, mama? Like that
What she be
that
saying?
that's what she said. That's what she said to her mom. Do you remember when that happened? And like kind of it was technically this year. I mean, it would happen at the end of the year because it's December, but it's like that was recent. And
Yeah.
And I can't protect you from that. You did that.
Yeah, at
You
some
did that.
point they get their own mind.
You're right. And I don't have to. And I say I'll never have to. I'll never have to speak bad about what had happened. For what? I don't need to, because you gonna find a way. Now, once again, I'm not wishing. I'm not like speaking bad or hoping that she fail. But at the
It's
end
just
of the day,
reality. It's your reality.
your reality is that you only got so many I messed ups before it starts becoming a reality. And at this point, that's what it became. Like, it legit became a reality. And now I've tried my best to shelter it, but like, no, I ain't finna sip and county and say it ain't that bad. It is that bad. I'm not finna, I'm not gonna go on my way to tell her that it's that bad. But if you come to the revelation that it ain't what you thought it was, who am I to be like, "Now, don't you think that way about your mama?" I'm like,
Right.
nah, it is what it is.
You just let it ride.
I'm letting boy, and
At least, at least,
I'm in the back
like I
seat.
say, after they get a certain age anyway, they make their own mind up.
Right.
So I'm gonna ask you about this last one. This was the biggest thing. This was the most commented thing. Everything.
Okay.
Periods and sex. How I saw some statistics that said 92% of girls go to their mother. That's
And
where they feel safest. So,
as she should.
how do you plan on handling? Is it hopefully you have a woman you serious with by then, or
I mean, she got
um,
grandmas, aunties, and stuff like that. So I don't.
you're not really
I
worried about that?
I'm not really worried about it. What I'm most worried about, if I'm keeping it a being, the most thing I'm worried about right now is just her. I put it like this: it's her mental health. The period and the whole that, like,
I agree, Nicole.
you having a period, like you going through like this little whole that little womanhood, that'll pass and that become natural, that become normal. That's the least of my worries of like you going through that and having a cycle. What my biggest thing is, it's the first statement, it's the first question that you asked me at the very beginning, which was, how's your mental?
Yeah.
That is more important to me. If I can get Connie to have a strong mental, because I'm a
Strong
straight
as
shooter.
in like what do you mean by strong? Because
Not
that
easily.
also mean strong
No, 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 no,
woman.
no,
Like you know what I mean?
no,
Like
not, no, no, no,
aggressive.
not that. No, not that. I
New
mean,
York.
because I'm no. See, when I say strong, I mean, because at this point, I tell Kanye right now, you're not getting a cookie for being an independent person. Like, you're not this whole boss, babe. Like, you're not getting a cookie for being an adult. Kanye, I'm not finna praise you for cleaning up your room. I'm not praising you for taking care of your responsibilities. That these are your chores. Sure, you're not getting a cookie for that. But what I mean mentally is that you don't easily break. You don't go into a shell at the first sight of like adversity. Like, that is my biggest thing. Is like, I don't want to raise a weak child. And when I say, I don't
No,
mean
no, 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 no.
physically.
I get it. I got all these boys, so it's that's a struggle in itself because you definitely want them to be tough or like masculine,
Yeah,
tough, but you don't want them to be no troublemaker. And it's a thin fucking line.
right,
You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with boys, it's a thin line. Because they
right,
believe it's one thing about I look when I be talking to my kids, they be looking at me like, you know what I mean? Like
right.
especially Casey.
Yeah, yeah,
Whatever I
yeah, yeah.
say, Casey believe.
Right, right, right,
So I have to be careful with the way that I
right,
talk to him. So I definitely understand. I want like not necessarily a weak child, but a passive child.
right. And knowing how to ride that line of like, when the you know you know, handle your business, because
Teach
but then
discipline.
also being able to control your emotions and being able to just knowing like, like when it's okay to cry, when it's okay to like wipe them tears and keep going, and like and I won't be able, I hate to say this, and then they might give me they might give me hate for this, but I'm trying to raise my daughter. I wouldn't say like a guy, not at all, but to understand that like something that you would tell a guy, which is that nobody owes you nothing. Okay, don't ever feel entitled to anything, though, because I know Kai's gonna grow up and people are going to want to just give her stuff because of whatever. It's like this being part of being a woman.
Well, see, yeah, I'm finna say that's just part of a woman's lifestyle, though.
Right, exactly. So I want, but so that's why I'm trying to instill in her that like I know this is happening, foreshadowing, but I don't praise my daughter, whether it's a girl or a boy. I wouldn't praise my child for doing something they're supposed to do, because this whole I don't want to raise a my daughter did this, so my dad did this, so you should do it. Like, no, my dad taught me he don't owe me nothing, and I don't owe him nothing, and you don't get a praise for paying your light bill on time. Like, you're not finna get any type of more praise than the next individual, because you can be responsible. And it's
Yeah.
like, and I'm not gonna praise you. Well, but I will praise you for. And this is one thing. My biggest thing is like I need to know that when things get rough, you don't crack. When they're not.
Y'all,
I'm sorry.
I
Yeah,
okay. I thought your phone did.
yeah.
I was just saying, y'all, I think his phone died.
No, no. Somebody try to call me.
Okay.
You don't go into a shell. You don't do like I don't. It's a lot of things that people that kids do. I don't want you to turn to drugs because you're stressed out. I don't want It's a lot of things that can go wrong because you're mentally just weak and
You don't want
you
to worry
can't.
yourself to death though, because they're gonna do what they. I told Chanel this, and I firmly believe this. At some point, it's going to be a man with more influence over my daughter than me.
Yeah,
So I want her to be able to choose the right person to give that influence to. You
right.
know what I mean? Because at some point, I
Mhm.
mean, we've dealt with girls, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right,
with daddies. And I
right.
know they daddies wasn't approving of the
Yeah,
shit
for
that
sure.
we.
Yeah,
So knowing that, I'm like, I gotta try to find a way for her judgment, you know what I'm
right.
saying, to be correct, because I understand at some point there's gonna be some man with more influence. I have
Yeah,
more influence over Chanel than her daddy.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Now what I do with it is,
yeah.
up
That's
to
yours to
me,
play with.
but yeah, I definitely get what you're saying. My boy said, drugs are the best way to relieve stress. That is just not true. That
That is
that that
not
is
true.
terrible advice, and I hope that you don't really believe that.
Yeah,
Well,
and
Pete,
and
I got I yeah, that was a big one that was on the list or whatever. So hearing your story though of how you became a single daddy though, I do understand a lot more now. Um, and it definitely, I think in my head it was a little worse than what it was, because I've seen the big stuff too.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
you
I've
saw the
seen
little
you have to defend yourself. I've seen you have to go to court. I've seen you game playing around what you was gonna do. So,
right.
um, I know, knowing more of it, I kind of understand your story a
Well,
little more.
see, the battles, like
But yeah,
the
I didn't know how it
battle.
started, and
Yeah, but see,
yeah,
no, you know that I won the war.
yeah,
Like
for sure.
you don't like, but you saw me like the battles that
The
I
going through the little battles.
going through the little battles that seemed like
What's
but like
up,
I said,
Jay?
the bigger picture always was always in hindsight, and I feel like a lot of people in general they get thrown off because like they lose, they don't see the bigger picture. It's like, bro, don't worry about that. It seems big, but trust me, the bigger goal is to win. And like I'll lose every little battle if I know it's for me to win the war. You know.
Yeah,
And so like you can't just focus on the small thing. That's why I like hit you with like I said, I can hit you with the petty stuff, which is like, you know, that goes back to the whole do you protect your child and don't try to make sure your mom is not seen in a bad light. Like
Yeah.
those are the battles where it's like I could win this battle right here, but like no, it doesn't help me go forward to like me what I really want. So I'll let
And
you
at the end of
have
the day,
this.
I mean, y'all in two different states. You know what I mean? You already got full custody. I mean, it's kind of over with, you know?
Yeah. Ain't no more war. Like it's straight peace. But it was peace then. But it's kind of one of those things where like we didn't make it official. It's like we gon'
It's all good.
it's all good. We gonna concede, but we ain't gonna let everybody know.
Yeah,
We just
yeah.
gonna we kind of just like no, we gonna no you gonna have to put it on paper at this point. I need everybody to know that you conceded. You know, so we can
So
wave the flag.
so I'm gonna let you give them some advice, like just the dads out there, the men, give them some quick advice, and
Hmm.
then we'll I'm gonna let you give them your social media, and then
Hmm.
I'll outro them out of here.
Okay. Um.
So some advice for just dads, single dads, dudes that can't see their kid, or they trying to get on a better page. Just some solid advice that can help a man move on. Rather some mental health advice, or just some advice to help the next man that may see
Mhm.
this in the future. And while he's thinking, y'all, if y'all have a story, just DM me. I'll interview you. If you have a story, we'll talk about it through the DMs, and we'll set it up. So just to let y'all know. But go ahead, Pete.
I think the best advice that I could probably give to a father right now is that if it's important enough to you, how can I how can I phrase it? Because I don't want to get taken out of context. The best advice I can give is that
To a male,
to a,
to a man, to a single father, to just some solid advice.
they see everything. They see it.
The
Like
kids.
they see it. And you will have to, if you've never experienced a vulnerability because you may have been through it with so many women and got the short hand of the stick, I promise you, if you just stick to your guns, your kids see it. So even if it don't work out the way you thought it work out, because there's this belief that the system controls you and dictates everything. But at the end of the day, your child is their own individual. And no matter what the court say, if your child wants to be in your life and you want to be in theirs, it's going to
It's gonna
happen.
happen. It's
It's
gonna
going to
happen.
happen.
I agree. I agree. That's solid advice. I hope y'all take that because that's solid advice. If you're saying that you can't see the child and stuff, you really ain't trying. You talking to two people who
Yeah.
have did it. Like
Right.
who understand, and it wasn't that hard.
Right.
It just took going to the building.
Right.
So, but ultimately, you know what I'm saying. I wish everybody, peaceful relationships and try to keep their households together and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Pete, give them your social media real quick.
You can find me on all social medias. Trip Pete Hudson on any social media. It doesn't matter what it is. It's the same name everywhere you go. All right. I appreciate you, Trap, for having
Yep,
me
yep.
on. And man,
Yeah, I
we'll do it
appreciate you
again.
for doing this for me, man. We did 78 minutes. I hear True up there being a little problem. So I'm gonna go up there and see what's up with him. I guess that TV be saying, are you still watching?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I know that's what done happened, so I'm gonna go check out him. But yeah, I
yeah.
definitely appreciate you for coming on here for me, bro.
Man, no problem at all, man. Y'all take care. Y'all stay healthy, man.
All right, y'all. So this is the end of the episode. We drop every Monday. I'm gonna do a live interview. This was episode 1. Y'all make sure y'all follow me on all social medias at Trapp Tarell. If you're a man and you got a good story, you know what I'm saying, it's good enough, we'll have you on here. And yeah, appreciate y'all. Pete, I don't know if it's gonna cut you all the way off, so we finna see first episode.
All right.